Welcome. You already know how this feels. That tightness in the back of your neck that's been there since morning. The shoulders that haven't really dropped all day. That dull, specific ache in the lower back that follows you into bed and refuses to leave when you lie down. Your muscles have been working without a break, holding everything together, and they don't know how to stop. Nobody's told them they can. You're in the right place. I'm Catarina, and what we're going to do together tonight is work out every knot, every layer of tightness, every stubborn point that your body has been holding on to. This is a deep tissue massage, not a light touch, a real one. The kind that reaches the muscles underneath, the ones that rarely get attention. And by the time we're done, you are going to feel so heavy, so completely at rest, that sleep will simply take you. If this works for you tonight, please click subscribe. I make these videos regularly, and there's a whole library waiting for you. Every session designed for one thing, to carry you into the deepest sleep of your night. Click the bell too, so you don't miss a new one. Now, get yourself comfortable. Find your position. Lying down, on your back, on your side, whatever feels right for your body tonight. Pull the covers up if you want them. Let your arms rest somewhere loose. Let your feet fall open. Close your eyes. Take a breath in through your nose, and let it go slowly through your mouth. Again. In and out. One more time. Feel that. That tiny shift when the breath releases. Your shoulders drop just a little. Your jaw loosens. That's your body already beginning to understand what's coming. I want you to imagine something. You've been traveling today. Not a difficult journey, just a long one, the kind that leaves your body ready to be still. And now you've arrived. You're here. At a small spa just above the Amalfi Coast, the kind of place you almost can't believe is real. The room is dim and warm. The walls are pale stone, the old kind, thick and cool to the touch, and they hold the warmth of the day inside them even now. A single lamp in the corner throws soft amber light across the ceiling. There are candles along the shelf above the window, their flames barely moving in the stillness of the air. The scent they carry is bergamot and something earthier underneath it. Sandalwood maybe, or cedar. It's impossible to place exactly, and it doesn't matter. It simply settles around you like something familiar. The window is open just slightly, enough to let in the sound of the sea. Down the hill, below the terrace, the waves are moving against the rocks in that slow repeating rhythm that has no beginning and no end. In and back. In and back. You don't have to count them. Your breathing already knows how to follow. The table you're lying on is padded and warm. There's a light sheet over you. The pillow under your head is soft and carries that faint scent of something clean, like linen left in the sun. You are completely supported. Every part of you held. I'll be working with you tonight using a warm, lightly scented oil. A blend I use specifically for deep tissue work. Slightly richer than a surface oil, with a warmth to it that begins to soften the muscle the moment it touches skin. You'll feel it slowly sink into the tissue as we work, helping me reach the deeper layers, the places where tension has been sitting for days. Or longer. Deep tissue massage isn't about pressure for the sake of pressure. It's about patience. About working slowly through the surface layers and reaching the connective tissue underneath, the fascia, the dense bands that can hold chronic tension like a fist that never opens. Tonight, I'm going to open that fist. Slowly, layer by layer. And as each layer releases, you're going to feel yourself drop a little deeper into this table. A little heavier. A little more gone from the noise of the day. We're going to move from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. Every area. Nothing skipped. And by the time we reach the end, I don't expect you to still be with me. That's exactly what this is for. Let the sound of the water find you. Let the warmth of this room settle into your chest. We begin. My hands are warm as they come to rest on either side of your head. I'm not pressing yet. Just holding. The weight of my palms against your temples, fingers spread up into your hairline. Just this at first. Just warmth. You might not have realized how much you've been holding in your head. Not thoughts, exactly. Tension. The scalp is full of small, tight muscles, the ones that contract when you concentrate too hard, when you squint at a screen, when you clench your jaw and the effort travels upward. Most people carry a low-level headache there for years and never give it a name. I start with slow circular movements at the temples. My thumbs resting just at the edge of your hairline, pressing in with a gentle, firm rotation. Slowly. Feeling for the places where the tissue is tighter, less giving. There's a slight pressure here. Not pain, just a sensation of something being asked to release. Stay with it. Breathe. Now I move my fingers up, spreading across the sides of your skull, pressing the pads of my fingers firmly against your scalp and beginning to move the skin itself. Not pulling. Moving. The scalp doesn't stretch on its own the way other skin does. It can get stuck to the bone beneath it, and when it does, circulation slows and tension builds. As I work these slow, pressing circles across the crown of your head, you'll feel a spreading warmth follow. Blood moving where it hasn't moved freely in a while. At the back of the skull now. The occipital ridge, that bony shelf where your skull meets your neck. This is one of the most held points in the whole body. I press my thumbs into the groove just beneath it, either side of the spine, and I hold. No movement. Just pressure. Firm, steady, deliberate pressure. And I wait for the tissue to soften under my hands. Breathe into it. If there's any discomfort, it means the muscle needed this. Stay with the breath and let the pressure do its work. Slowly I begin to make small strokes downward from that ridge, moving through the muscles at the base of the skull, working toward the top of the neck. Each stroke is slow and even, pressing firmly with the pad of my thumb. You might feel something loosen there. A small release, almost like something clicking quietly into place. That's the tension leaving. I work across the whole occipital line this way. Pressing, holding, releasing. The back of your head growing heavier against the pillow with each pass. Your eyes, behind their lids, are soft. Not searching. Just dark and still. I return to the top of your head. Both hands pressing with my full palms, moving slowly from front to back in one long, firm stroke. Not a stroke across the hair. A stroke through the tissue. My weight moving forward slightly so I can follow the contour of your skull from forehead to crown to the very back. Once. Then again. And again. Each pass slower than the last. Your breathing is already quieter than it was when we began. Notice that. Your chest rising and falling with less effort. Your jaw slack. The muscles around your eyes no longer doing anything at all. I'm moving to the forehead now. Both thumbs starting in the center, just above the bridge of your nose, pressing out along the brow line in a slow, deliberate sweep. Working into the muscle beneath the brow, the one that furrows when you're concentrating or worried. Pressing it flat. Asking it to let go of the habit of tension it's carried all day. Out to the temples again. Slow circles. Your scalp warm now, the tissue more open than it was 3 minutes ago. We move down. My hands slide to your neck. Both of them, one on each side, fingers wrapping gently but firmly around the back of it. I'm not pulling. Just holding the shape of it, feeling the muscles underneath my palms. The neck carries an extraordinary amount of weight for something so narrow. The weight of the head, yes, but also the weight of everything you carry in your posture. The hours of looking down. The hours of looking at screens. The slow, accumulated habit of holding the head forward and up rather than letting it simply rest on the spine where it belongs. I start with a gentle traction. My fingers laced beneath the base of your skull, drawing very slowly upward, elongating the neck, creating just a little space between each vertebra. Hold it there for a breath. Then release slowly. Again. Pull and release. You might feel something shift in your upper spine. A small decompression. A little room where there was none. Now the work begins. I'm pressing my thumbs along either side of the cervical spine, from the base of the skull down toward the top of the shoulders. Not on the vertebrae themselves. Into the muscles running alongside them, the cervical erectors, the ones that have been working constantly to keep your head from tipping forward. I press and hold at each level. 2 seconds. 3. Moving down one vertebra at a time. If any point feels sharper than the others, that's a knot. I find it and I stay. I don't push harder. I simply hold. And the muscle, given time and warmth and patience, begins to open. The upper trapezius now. That thick band of muscle running from your neck out to the top of your shoulders. This is where most people carry the whole day. You know this muscle. You feel it tighten when you're stressed. When you're cold. When you've been sitting too long. It can get so tight it stops feeling like a muscle and starts feeling like a board. I work into it with my knuckles, slowly, moving from the neck outward. Pressing in circles, finding the grain of the muscle and working with it. There's a difference between pain and productive pressure, and I'm looking for the second one. That deep ache that tells you something real is happening. That the tissue is being asked, finally, to change. I find the belly of the trapezius at the top of your shoulder and press in with my thumb. Hold. 3 breaths. 4. Feel the muscle softening around the pressure. Not all at once. Slowly. Like ice at the edge of warmth. And then I release, and there's that flood of sensation as the blood returns. Warmth. A spreading looseness. I repeat this on both sides. Taking my time. Finding each tight point and waiting it out. There's no rushing a muscle. You can push it. You can make it hurt. But you can't make it release faster than it's ready to. So I wait. And the room is quiet, and the sea is steady below us, and your body is starting to understand that there's nowhere it needs to be tonight. Your shoulders are lower than they were when we started. Did you notice? A few millimeters. That's all. But it's everything. I pour a little more oil into my hands, warming it for a moment before I lay both palms flat on your upper back. Just contact first. Just the heat of my hands on your skin. Breathing in time with your breathing. Letting my weight settle. Then I begin. Both palms moving slowly down either side of your spine in one long, smooth stroke, from the tops of your shoulders all the way down to your lower back. Not pressing hard yet. Just making the connection, letting the oil spread, letting your skin and the tissue beneath it begin to register the warmth. Back up the sides, fingers spread wide, drawing up along the ribs. Down the center again. 3 strokes. 4. By the 4th one, your breathing has slowed to match the movement. Now I use my forearm, rolling it slowly across the upper back, across the rhomboids, those thick muscles between your shoulder blades. This is where the desk worker carries their weight, where the forward-leaning world takes it out of you. The rhomboids stretch and weaken when the shoulders round forward, but they don't stop working. They keep pulling, constantly, trying to draw the shoulder blades back where they belong. And so they fatigue. And then they ache. I lean into my forearm as I roll it slowly across that space between your spine and your shoulder blade. Pressing in. Finding the resistance in the tissue and moving through it. Not forcing. Leaning. Letting my body weight do the work rather than just my arm. You'll feel the pressure as a broad, deep warmth moving through you. Like something being ironed flat, slowly, with perfect patience. I work across both sides. Then I shift to my thumbs, pressing into the medial border of the shoulder blade, along the seam where the scapula meets the rhomboid. This is a dense area, often overlooked because it's hard to reach yourself and easy to ignore. I press in at the angle where the blade meets the muscle and I hold. You'll feel this one. A deep, specific ache, localized but not sharp. Stay with it. Your body knows this pressure means something is finally being addressed. I trace the whole edge of the shoulder blade this way, from the top angle down to the bottom point. Then across to the other side. Taking my time. Pressing and holding at every dense point I find. Now we move into the thoracic spine. I use my thumbs on either side of the vertebrae, pressing into the erector spinae, those 2 long columns of muscle running the full length of your spine. I work slowly downward, pressing at each level. Breathing as I press. Releasing as I move to the next. It's methodical. Quiet. Precise. You can feel each level as a separate point of warmth, one after another, from between your shoulder blades all the way down toward your lower back. The room is very quiet now. The candles barely flickering. The sea far below, constant and dark. Your face is completely soft. Your hands lie open beside you, fingers loose, not holding anything. You're sinking into this table now. Not yet asleep, maybe, but very, very close to the border of it. The lower back. I come here slowly, with my palms pressing in 2 long horizontal lines across the width of the lumbar region. The muscles here are broad and thick, the largest of the back muscles, designed to carry and stabilize the entire torso. And they do it without rest. Every sitting position, every lift, every moment of standing, the lower back works. By the time most people find their way to a massage table, these muscles have been working for months or years without a real release. I'm using the heel of my hand now, pressing it firmly across the muscle belly, just to the side of the spine, rolling it slowly outward toward the flank. One side, then the other. The pressure is firm and even, moving through the tissue in a way that surface-level work can't reach. You'll feel it as a deep, almost satisfying ache. The kind that makes you breathe out a little more than you meant to. I find the Quadratus lumborum now. This is a deep muscle, running from the back of the pelvis up to the lowest rib on each side. Most people have never heard of it, but they've felt it. It's the muscle that gives you that deep ache in your lower back after a long drive, or a long day of standing. It's the one that, when it tightens on one side, makes you feel slightly tilted, off balance, not quite right. I press my thumbs slowly into the far side of the erector muscles, angling in toward where the QL lies deeper. It takes patience to reach it. I press in and hold, leaning my weight slowly and steadily, breathing as I do. You might feel this one radiating down toward the hip, across the lower back. That's normal. That's the referred sensation of deep muscle tissue releasing its grip. Stay with the breath. Let the warmth do what it needs to do. I work along the whole length of the lower back this way, side to side, the heels of my hands, my thumbs, my forearm moving slowly across you. The skin warm now, the oil absorbed, the tissue underneath more giving than it was 10 minutes ago. Muscles remember how to let go. They just need to be reminded. There's a long, slow effleurage stroke I do at the end of each lower back sequence. Both hands pressing together down the center of the spine, diverging at the top of the pelvis, and spreading wide out across the hips. It's a sweeping, opening movement. I do it 3 times. Each time a little slower. Your hips settling heavier into the table. Your lower back no longer bracing against anything. Just below the weight of my hands now, your body is very still. The glutes. Most people hold more tension here than they realize, and it almost never gets worked on properly. The gluteus maximus is the largest muscle in the body, and when it's tight, it pulls on everything. The lower back, the hips, the knees, the sciatic nerve sometimes, when the piriformis, that smaller muscle lying deep beneath the glute, decides to join in. A tight piriformis can press on the sciatic nerve and create that deep, running ache down the leg that people often call a bad hip or a sore back without knowing quite where it's coming from. Tonight, we address it. I'm pressing my elbow slowly into the belly of the right gluteus maximus. Not a sharp dig. A leaning, rolling pressure, rotating slowly and working into the tissue. This is one of the most effective things I do in a deep tissue session, and it can produce one of the most dramatic releases. You'll feel it as a broad, deep pressure, building as I lean in and then spreading as I ease. Breathe through it. I work across the whole glute this way, moving from the top of the muscle near the pelvis crest down toward the base. Methodical, unhurried, pressing, holding, moving. If I find a particularly tight point, and I often do, I stop. Press in. Hold it for 4-5 breaths. And wait. The muscle can hold out for a while against pressure. But eventually, with warmth and time and patience, it opens. The piriformis now. It runs from the sacrum diagonally to the top of the femur, and to reach it I have to go through the gluteus maximus. I find the position, pressing my thumb in at an angle toward the sacroiliac joint. You may feel a very specific, distinct sensation here. A deep ache, sometimes a slight radiating feeling down the back of the thigh. That's the piriformis saying hello. I hold the pressure for a full breath cycle. Then 2. Then I release and the blood floods back in and that radiating feeling dissolves into warmth. Both sides. I take the same time on each. No rushing. No skipping. When I'm done with the glutes, I do a long, sweeping stroke down the entire back of the leg, from hip to heel, pressing firmly with both hands as I go. It's the first time your legs have been touched tonight, and that sensation of warm hands moving all the way from the hip to the ankle in one continuous contact is one of the most settling feelings a body can receive. Like being measured and found whole. The hamstrings first. 3 long muscles running from the base of the pelvis all the way down to the back of the knee. They do enormous work, and yet they're almost always tight, almost always underappreciated. In anyone who sits for long periods, they shorten. They stiffen. They pull on the pelvis and tilt it backward and contribute to that ache in the lower back that comes from sitting too long. I work them with my forearm, rolling slowly up the center of the back of your thigh from just above the knee toward the base of the glute. The pressure is broad and deep, my forearm covering the full width of the hamstring group. I can feel the muscle under me, the texture of it, the way it gives more or less depending on where I am along its length. The upper part, where it attaches to the pelvis, is often the tightest. I give it more time. My forearm pressing in, rotating slowly, letting the weight of my upper body load into the pressure. Then I use my thumbs to strip along the inner and outer lines of the hamstring, pressing into the grooves between the muscles, separating them, asking each one to release independently. You'll feel these as very specific lines of pressure, precise and direct. The sensation travels along the length of the muscle, up toward the sitting bone, and if the muscle is tight, the pressure seems to amplify as I approach the origin point at the pelvis. Stay with it. Breathe. The calves now. The gastrocnemius and the soleus, layered one on top of the other, running from behind the knee down to the heel. The gastrocnemius is the visible one, the twin-bellied muscle that gives the calf its shape. The soleus lies beneath it, a flat, broad muscle that works even when you're sitting still, since it helps pump blood back up from the lower leg. I press my thumbs deeply into the gastrocnemius belly, working along each of its 2 heads. Finding the tight spots, which in most people sit in the upper calf just below the back of the knee. Pressing and holding. Then moving down. At mid-calf I use my full hand, pressing and gently wringing the tissue, like asking a cloth to give up what it's holding. Down toward the ankle, where the muscle transitions into the Achilles tendon. I run my thumb along the sides of the tendon, not on it directly, but alongside it, freeing the surrounding tissue. Your legs feel heavy now. Really heavy. Like they belong to this table. Like they couldn't be lifted even if you asked. The feet. 2 of the most worked and least thanked parts of the entire body. I take your right foot in both hands. One hand beneath the heel, the other wrapped across the top. I hold it for a moment. Just the warmth of my hands around the whole foot. You might feel it right away, that particular pleasure of something touching the sole of your foot with full, firm intention rather than the accidental brushes the feet endure all day inside shoes. I begin with the heel, pressing my thumb firmly into the base of it, moving in slow circles. The plantar fascia, the thick band of connective tissue running from the heel to the base of each toe, can become extremely tight. I press my thumb along the length of the arch, from the heel to the ball, in a series of deep, direct strokes. You'll feel the tissue being pulled, a deep stretch from the inside of the foot. Then I work each toe, individually, pressing around the base of each one, rotating gently, pressing along the sides. People never expect this to be relaxing. It always is. The sole of the foot gets a series of broad, sweeping strokes with my knuckle, pressed firmly into the arch and dragged from heel to ball. Once, twice, the foot almost curling around the pressure of its own accord. I repeat every stroke on the left foot. Same time, same attention, the same care. When I finish the left foot, I rest it gently back onto the table. Both your feet, lying flat and loose. The whole back of your body, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, has been worked. Now I need you to turn over for me. Very slowly. Take your time. Roll to one side first, then onto your back. Feel the sheet settle back over you. The pillow under your head again. Your face turned upward toward the ceiling. Let your arms lie flat beside you, palms up. Let your feet fall apart. Breathe. We're halfway. I want you to feel how different the table feels now. The back of your body has been through a lot of work. The muscles are warmer, looser, more open than they were when we began. And your front side rests against the sheet with a kind of soft weight, the weight of a body that's already doing some of its letting go. I come to your face, both hands hovering above it for a second before they make contact, warming the air above your skin. Then my fingertips come to rest on your temples, and I begin. The temporalis muscle covers much of the side of your skull and runs down to your jaw. It's one of the muscles of chewing, and in people who clench or grind at night, it can be as tight as a fist. I press the pads of my fingers into it in slow circles, working from the temple down toward the cheekbone. Patient. Pressing into the muscle with just enough weight to feel it yield. The jaw now. I press my thumbs along the masseter, the large chewing muscle that sits just in front of your ear and runs down to the corner of your jaw. This is often the most held muscle in the entire face. People who carry stress often carry it here, in the quiet clenching they don't even know they're doing. I press in firmly along the length of the masseter, following the grain of the muscle fibers downward. If you feel any sharpness here, soften your jaw deliberately. Let your back teeth separate a little. There. Feel that softening. Along the brow, my thumbs sweep outward from the bridge of your nose to your temples, 3 times, each pass slightly firmer than the last. The corrugator muscle, the one that pulls your brow together when you're concentrating or worried, gets pressed flat. Your forehead smooths under my hands, like something being turned off. Down the sides of the nose, along the nasolabial lines, pressing gently but firmly into the tissue. Across the chin, back up to the temples. And then both palms lay flat on your cheeks, covering your whole face in warmth. I hold them there, still, warm. The room breathing around you. The sea outside in its rhythm. Stay here for a moment. Just in the warmth. My hands slide down to your upper chest. Below the collarbone, I lay my fingertips along the upper pectoral line and begin pressing outward from the sternum toward the shoulder. The pectorals are large muscles, and in most people they're tight and short from spending so much time in front of things. Computers, phones, steering wheels. A short, tight pectoral pulls the shoulder forward and the upper back into a round. It contributes to every ache you feel between the shoulder blades. I work along the pectoral minor first, a small muscle sitting behind the larger one, pressing my fingers in under the collarbone at a downward angle, working outward. You might feel a surprising tightness here. The pec minor rarely gets worked and it rarely lets go on its own. I press and hold at the point where I feel the most resistance, breathing with you, waiting. Then the pec major, pressing my forearm slowly across the broad belly of the muscle, working from the sternum out toward the shoulder. Firm, even pressure. Not skating across the surface. Going into it. At the shoulder itself, I work into the front of the deltoid, the anterior head, pressing my thumbs along its border and into the tissue where the deltoid and pectoral connect. This junction can be remarkably tight. I press along the whole length of it and hold at the points that respond. The coracobrachialis, a small muscle on the inner arm just below the shoulder, often grabs tight and gets ignored. I press 2 fingers into it, directly and deliberately. It might surprise you. Stay with it. Across both shoulders this way. The same detail on each side. And when I finish, I lay my hands flat over your whole upper chest, sternum to shoulders, and the warmth of that contact after all the specific deep work feels different. Broader. Softer. Like the area is breathing again. The sea is very consistent now, isn't it? You can feel it in your chest. Each wave matching an exhale. Each pull back matching a slow inhale. The rhythm of the water and the rhythm of your breathing have found each other, and there's nothing to do but follow. Your right arm first. I take it gently in both hands and draw it a few centimeters away from your body, giving it a little space. Then I begin at the upper arm, pressing my thumbs into the bicep. Not the peak of the muscle when it contracts, but the belly when it's resting, which is long and soft and more accessible. I work along the length of the bicep from the elbow up to the shoulder, pressing in slow, firm strokes. The muscle tends to carry more tension than people expect here, especially from carrying things, typing, driving. Things that involve holding the arm in a bent position for long periods. Then the tricep, on the back of the upper arm. A broad, flat muscle that also tightens in people who use their arms a lot. I press my forearm across it, rolling slowly, then use my thumb to strip along each of its 3 heads. The muscle is long and it responds well to slow, patient work. The forearm now. Both surfaces, the flexors running along the inside and the extensors along the outside. These muscles are often chronically overused and undertouched. I press along each group with my thumbs, slowly, from the wrist toward the elbow. In anyone who types or uses their hands for detailed work, the forearm extensors in particular can be surprisingly tight. I find the tight bands and press along them, then hold. The hand. I take it in both of mine and press into the palm with my thumbs, working through the small muscles, the thenar eminence at the base of the thumb, the hypothenar muscles on the outer edge, the interosseous muscles between the metacarpals. This is slow, specific work, and it produces a particular kind of letting go that people find unexpected. The hands hold a lot. When they open, something else tends to open with them. I finish the hand by pressing each finger from base to tip, one by one. And then I lay it gently back by your side. Your left arm. The same care. The same time. When I set your left hand back down, both your arms lie flat beside you, palms facing up. Not holding anything. Not bracing against anything. Just resting. The front of your legs now. I warm a little more oil in my hands and lay them across the top of your right thigh, beginning with long, sweeping strokes downward from the hip to just above the knee, feeling the whole quadriceps group under my palms. 4 muscles, running together, doing the work of lifting your leg and extending the knee. In active people, or in people who sit a lot, they tighten. Dramatically. sometimes to the point where the pelvis is being pulled forward and the lower back arches just to compensate. I work with my forearm across the vastus lateralis, the outer quad, pressing slowly down the length of it. Then across to the rectus femoris at the center, pressing down its long axis, feeling where it tightens. The inner quad, the vastus medialis, gets specific thumb work along its border with the inner knee. Each muscle separate. Each one worked to its own release. The IT band territory on the outer thigh gets broad, firm strokes alongside it rather than over it. Warming the tensor fasciae latae at the top, the tissue at the knee where it inserts. Slow. Even. Down to the shin. The tibialis anterior, running along the outer front of the shin, can become very tight in anyone whose calves are tight enough to create constant resistance in the front of the lower leg. I press my thumb slowly along it from the knee toward the ankle. Firm and patient. And your foot again, from the front this time. The top of the foot, pressing between the tendons running to each toe. Slow, specific pressure into the small spaces. I finish with one long, slow stroke from the top of your hip all the way to the tip of your toes. Both hands moving together, following the whole length of your right leg. Once. Then I step to the left side. The same sequence. The same depth. The same care. When I finish your left foot and set it back down, I take a step back from the table. Your whole body, from the top of your skull to your toes, has been worked. The whole front. The whole back. Every section. This is the end of the first pass. You've been lying here for close to an hour now, and I'm going to stay with you, because this is where the real work begins. This is where the body takes everything the hands have done and goes all the way down with it. I'm going to take you through it all again. The second time through is different. You don't need to follow every word now. You don't need to stay present. Your body already knows what's happening. It's already learned the rhythm of my hands. So this pass isn't about information. It's about depth. About sinking through the floor of wherever you are right now and finding the layer beneath it. If you're still awake, let the sound of my voice just be a sound. Don't try to understand it. Let it sit at the edge of your awareness like the sound of the sea below us. Still moving. Still constant. Just part of the room now rather than something you're paying attention to. I'm warming oil again. Placing my hands at the top of your head. Breathe and let go. My fingers pressing slowly into the tissue at your temples. Moving in circles. The same circles as before, but slower now. There's no hurry anywhere in this room. The candles have burned lower. The light is a little dimmer. The sea is unchanged. My thumbs find the occipital ridge. Pressing in, holding, waiting. It gives more quickly this time. Your body remembers. The muscle already knows that this pressure ends in release, so it offers it sooner. You feel the sensation arriving, the letting go following after it. I work slowly across the base of your skull. The same points as before. Pressing, holding, moving down to the top of the neck. The strokes are slower, more deliberate. The intervals between them longer. Time moving differently in this room than it does out in the world. Your breathing is very slow now, your chest rising and settling, rising and settling. Long, slow strokes across the crown of your head now. My palms pressing from your forehead to the base of your skull. Once. Again. The weight of your head completely mine. You are not holding it. You gave it up. Somewhere behind your eyes, the images that come just before sleep are already beginning. Loose, unnarrated things. Don't hold on to them. Let them pass. Let the next one come. They don't mean anything. They're just the mind releasing the day the same way the muscle releases its tension. Given warmth and permission, it lets go. My hands on your neck. Both palms, one on each side. Holding. Feeling the warmth of you. The slow strokes down the cervical erectors again, pressing with my thumbs on either side of the spine. Downward. One vertebra at a time. Each point held for a full breath. The muscle is softer now than it was the first time. More open. Less resistant. If there's any sound in your mind right now, it's getting further away. The thoughts that came with you into this room have been sitting untended long enough that they've started to lose their hold. They're still there, probably, but they don't have the same grip. They're quiet the way a city gets quiet at 3 in the morning. Still present, just no longer loud. The upper trapezius now, my knuckles moving across it in slow rotation. The muscle is warmer, more pliable. I still find a few points of resistance, the deep ones that take more than one pass to fully address. I stay at each one. Press in. Hold. Breathe. There's a particular quality to the stillness when someone is very close to sleep. A change in their breathing. A heaviness that is different from just being still. I'm noticing that in you now. Your shoulders have given up the habit of being held. They are flat against the table. Open. Resting. My hands sweep from your neck across the tops of your shoulders in one long, slow stroke, and then settle again at the base of the neck. We move to the back. Both palms on your upper back, moving down, slow, even. The oil warming across the skin again. I don't explain as much this time. You know. Your body knows. The strokes come and your muscles receive them. Each long stroke from shoulders to lower back pressing a little deeper than a first pass stroke. My weight moving through my palms into you. The spine quiet underneath. The rhomboids. My forearm across that space between spine and shoulder blade. Rolling. Pressing. It takes almost no time for them to give now. The tissue is already open. The thoracic spine. My thumbs moving down the erectors. Pressing at each level and releasing. There's a rhythm to it that matches your breathing. I press as you exhale. I move as you inhale. The body and the hands, together. Somewhere in the movement, you may have stopped trying to stay awake. I'm not sure when. Maybe it was earlier. It doesn't matter. The deeper levels of your body are still here, still receiving the warmth and the pressure and the slow, steady rhythm. Sleep doesn't mean the body stops receiving. It just means you've stopped supervising it. The lower back. Both palms pressing across it in horizontal strokes. Slow. Wide. The Quadratus lumborum territory. Quiet now. No resistance. No bracing. Just warm muscle receiving the contact and letting it pass through. Down to the glutes. My elbow finding the familiar points. The tissue giving much more easily this time. Almost immediately. The piriformis responding before I've had to hold the pressure for more than 2 breaths. I sweep down the back of both legs in one long, continuous stroke. Hip to heel. And I move to the feet. Your feet. One in my hands. The warmth of it. The familiar pressure along the arch thumb strokes from heel to ball. Each toe held and released. The knuckles sweeping the sole. Slow. No rush. The world outside this room has no claim on your attention. The other foot. The same slow care. The same warm pressure along the plantar fascia. The same steady rhythm. When I finish, I rest both your feet back onto the table. Still. Heavy. Every part of the back of your body has been through this second pass now. The tissue softer than it was. The nervous system quieter. The whole architecture of your back, your legs, your feet, held in a state of deep, earned rest. Turn for me now. Slowly. One more time. Find your back again. The ceiling above you, soft in the low light. The sheet settling. Pillow under your head. Let everything be still. I come to your face again. My fingertips resting on your temples. Just warmth at first. Then the slow circles, pressing the temporalis. The muscle gives almost immediately. It's already learned what my hands are asking for. The masseter. I press along it and feel very little resistance. The jaw has been open and soft for a long time now. Along the brow. My thumbs sweeping outward in slow arcs. Each pass so slow that the pressure seems to sink through the skin rather than move across it. Both palms resting on your face. Warm. Still. A few full breaths held here. The room breathing around both of us. Down to your chest. My fingertips pressing slowly across the upper pectorals. Not searching for knots this time. Just maintaining contact. Moving with warmth and steady pressure across your chest and out to your shoulders. Long, slow strokes from the sternum out to the shoulder joint and back. The body receiving, not processing. Just warm and open under my hands. The sound of the sea is clearer now somehow. Or maybe everything else has gotten quieter. One of the two. It doesn't matter which. Your chest rising. Your chest falling. The sheet barely moving. Your right arm. I lift it gently and draw it slightly from your side. My hands wrapping around it. Slow strokes along the bicep. No specific searching now. Just contact. Warmth moving through the tissue. The forearm. Long strokes from wrist to elbow, pressing along both surfaces. Slow. Even. The arm like something that no longer belongs to any effort. Just resting in my hands. The hand. Both my thumbs pressing through the palm. Gentle but firm. Each finger held for a moment and then released. Back at your side. Left arm. The same warmth. The same patience. By the time I set your left hand back down, both arms are completely still. Palms open. Not holding. Your right leg. my palms moving down from the hip across the front of the thigh. Slow, broad strokes. The quad completely soft. No bracing. No holding. Just warm tissue receiving warm hands. I move through the whole leg. Knee to ankle. Shin and calf and the foot again, pressing through the sole. One continuous movement from hip to toe. Left leg. The same slow journey. The same unhurried care. From the hip all the way down, both hands following the length of the leg, all the way to the foot, pressing gently along the sole once more. When I finish your left foot, I set it back down. I take a step back from the table, and I look at you. Your whole body, from the top of your head to your toes, has been worked twice. Your breathing is barely perceptible now. Your face completely smooth. Your hands open. Your feet fallen apart. You are not sitting at the edge of sleep. You are in it. The candles are low. The amber light on the ceiling barely moves. The scent of bergamot and cedar is so familiar now that you don't notice it anymore, the way you stop noticing any warmth once it becomes the temperature of the room. Outside, down the hill, the sea moves in its slow rhythm. In and back. In and back. It will keep doing this long after tonight. Long after this room. It doesn't need anything from you. Your body is somewhere below the surface now. Below the layer where noise and worry and the sharp edges of the day can reach. The muscles that were tight when you arrived, the ones in your neck and your lower back and your shoulders and your jaw, they're open now. Not just relaxed. Open. Like something that had been braced for a long time and finally remembered it doesn't have to be. Your hands are the last thing I notice. Lying open beside you on the table, palms up, fingers gently curled. The most unguarded position. The hand at rest is an honest thing. It doesn't pretend to grip what it's already let go. This is the end of our session tonight. If you're still here with me, though I suspect you've already gone, thank you for trusting this space. Thank you for giving your body this time. The hours that have passed have been measured in breaths rather than minutes, and that's the only way they should be measured tonight. If you're listening from a place where you're still just barely present, I want you to know that everything I've done tonight, every stroke and every held point and every slow patient pass, was to give your body back something it kept trying to give away. Its own rest. Its own quiet. Stay where you are. Don't move. Let the sleep continue. Let the sea keep doing what it does. I'll be here again soon, on the channel, with another session, another room, another hour of this. Subscribe if you want to find your way back. Click the bell and the next one will come to you when you need it. But for now, you're done. You're heavy and warm and exactly where you should be. Buna not.